Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Yoruus speaking and welcome to the summary video for multiplayer game number 92. As usual, spoiler alert! If you do not want to know how the game went, don't watch this video and go to the first position of the playlist, in here where the actual game starts. Now if you do want to know how the game went, hear me how I summarize the game, pick the mistakes I made or the things that I did actually good, then I definitely invite you to watch this game. Or you just want to have a view of the game before you start watching, so you can decide if you want to watch the game or not, then I invite you to watch this video. So first of all, let's start off with the players. So this is a 6-player free-for-all, played on 15 August, streamed on Twitch, so exactly the same game if you watched my Twitch on that date. In this game I've got Kleftor playing as Austria. Now Kleftor, wow, he pulls off amazing stuff lately. I actually, yeah, he just pulls amazing stuff. I mean, like, if you watch the Syria game, turn 184 science victory in a multiplayer game, that's like, wow, that's amazing. So very good player. Tony the Bomb playing as Maya. Well, Tony the Bomb you probably know, very good player with just that, I don't know how to call it, personality that's sometimes very cool, sometimes very hard to handle, but still a very good player. Lucky Strike, you already know, one of the nicest and coolest guy around in here. The problem is, most of the time, he's very reluctant to go to war with anybody and just goes for tourism victory. In any circumstance, he goes for tourism victory. Sometimes that's okay, because sometimes he wins, but most of the time you just need to take a little bit action to have a chance at winning. But still a guy who knows the game very, very well. Twinsen you already know as well. Very strong player, especially at fighting. And NQShimi 16 you definitely know, though lately he's not doing that great in those games, at least with those players, because, well, basically I'm playing with those players most of the times on Fridays and Saturdays lately, if they are actually around, but still that goes always like a very, very intense and very interesting games. But I haven't mentioned who they are playing. So Tony the Bomb plays Maya, NQ Lucky Strike plays Ethiopia, Twinsen is playing India, NQShimi is playing Mongolia, and I rolled Poland, so I'm super enthusiastic about this game when I saw the Poland screen, because, like, well, you know, I'm Polish and I got my civ, so what's cooler to ask? Win maybe, right? Well, I was definitely emotional about this game. So I rolled this start and I was like thinking, where to go? Where to go? This is one of the toughest decisions that you get basically when you spawn. You see two mountains, a river, so go north, go south, go on the cotton. Basically the problem is I see two luxuries, so I can at least plant two cities, right? Now I see two mountains, so also I want to plant cities on mountains, basically, because I already see those two cities. So, but then again, if I'm gonna move in here and my horses are like in here, I'm gonna step away from the horses. Same goes like if the horses are in here. I do have guaranteed horses in my capital, but I do not know where exactly they are. So stepping away from the starting location in any direction could basically, well, maybe not in any direction, but in the direction so I can fit two cities on the mountains, gives a high chance that I'm gonna miss horses, right? And I'm Poland. I don't want to miss horses in my capital. I don't want to miss horses in any of my cities, because I want ducal stables, right? So it was a tough choice, but, well, I'm just gonna show you what I did decide. Okay, so I skipped a little bit of turns. Well, I decided to go south. I decided to go south, and luckily, I didn't miss at least one horse. Now, look in how good spot I would be if I would stay in place. If I would stay in place, I would have 3 horses in my capital. But since I decided to actually move away, yes, I could fit in cities. There's marble under Krakow, so I was able to have 3 cities basically with circuses and ducal stables options. So that's nice. That was not that big of a problem, but it was a risky move. Now I'm gonna plant a 4th city. You see a settler going on. I will plant a 4th city somewhere around this mountain. There's a copper tile there. So I had spot for 4 cities. And I went liberty into tradition, so I did get the free settler. Now, what happened overall until this date? As you can probably see, it's turn 45, and my science output is not that great. Basically, my infrastructure is not that great. Well, I had barbarian problems. As usual, I had huge barbarian problems. And my initial plans was like, okay, I've got Twinsen right in north of me, and when you see India, well, you kind of want to kill him early on, right? Because India early on is quite weak, unless you're very, very lucky with luxuries. In this particular case, Twinsen was quite lucky with the resources. Not only that, he had Uluru or some other Fate Wonder in his 2nd city, very close to his capital. If he would scout a little bit more, he could like plan his capital on the Fate Wonder. So he had the religion. I did struggle to get Fate, and in the end I did not get the religion. Which is pretty sad, but I did not get it. So I adopted Twinsen religion. Twinsen rocked in the religion tree. Well, I could have expected that with my weak start. Basically, I did went for Stonehenge. I got Stonehenge, but Stonehenge and shrines did not guarantee me a religion. Basically, you've got Ethiopia there, you've got Maya there, so almost 2 religions guaranteed. You've got India with Natural Wonder, so another religion almost guaranteed. And the 4th religion, I don't actually remember to who it went. It was Austria with Kleftor or Shumi with Mongolia. But one of those guys, I don't remember exactly if they had a Natural Wonder or did they just get some good Fate Pantheon. I had a problem with barbarians. I didn't get any Fate Pantheon actually. So I even went for Stonehenge. I got it, but that was not enough to give me a religion in this game. But anyways, let's talk about my plans. So my plan was like this. So India is weak in the early game. So I wanted to attack him. I got some nice tributes, so my first thought was, okay, I'm going liberty, I'm planning cities, almost in his face, hopefully. I'm getting some archers. You see a lot of archers in here fighting barbarians. I get a lot of archers. I upgrade all of those into composites, and I kill him. And I got 2 capitals. Yes, I'm in the middle, but I got 2 empires, and then I just cruise into victory. So that was my initial plan. Of course, my plan was, well, the plan itself was quite good, but the execution was poor because, as I said, I had barb problems. My 3rd city was blocked for quite a while by barbarians before I cleared them. My sense was not that great, so composite rush, it wouldn't be a rush even, okay? It wouldn't be a rush even, not mentioning a lot of jungle in between. So then I was thinking like, okay, well, maybe not the composite timing, let's just echo a little bit up, and maybe I can hit crossbows timing and go and kill India. So here we are, turn 83, and now I mentioned my initial plans about killing India. Well, you see that Great Wall in here? I do see it. Guess who? That's India. Yes, that's India. Well, I did want to catch up in science a little bit and put up economy up, so like go to universities first. Get to universities first to actually have a chance in the late game, and then go full out crossbow attack on India. Well, that totally spoiled my plans. First of all, yes, I was 2nd at food and 2nd at hammers. Kleftor was leading like crazy with only 3 cities. He was like 9% ahead. 9% ahead, and on top of that he had like he was behind Lucky Strike, so he was on the edge of the map and behind Lucky Strike. That's like the almost the greatest position to be in. Be friendly to Lucky Strike, he will absolutely not do anything to stop him, and you can like echo up like crazy, go crazy science, go crazy everything. So nice wonders, nice science, basically a dream game from Cleftor going on. And I still had to take India, at least that was my opinion, since on the other side I've got Maya and Mongolia, so I was kind of hoping that Maya and Mongolia is going to fight with each other, like Tomi and Shumi, especially with the possible of Keshik. So I was thinking like, okay, Shumi's got Keshiks, maybe he's going to try to attack Maya, and Maya will have to think about defending against Keshiks. Lucky Strike is just gonna sit there and do the usual stuff, so going for culture. I did not expect anything else from him, and he was definitely not giving any signs of any will to do something to anybody at any point of the game. He was happy on his 4 cities and just sitting in there. And Apex was behind Lucky Strike with nobody else to worry about except maybe a naval attack or something like that. So he was like skyrocketing away with wonders, production, food, and science. So I knew I probably need to take India if I want to have a chance to in this game. Either to compete with science against Cleftor, I need more cities, or be kind of protected from the other side of eventual war on that side, because I was expecting a victor on the west side of the map. Either Maya or Mongolia. I was not expecting like Maya attacking Twin Sen, because then Shumi would attack Maya, basically. That was my idea, but of course I could be wrong. But having experienced a lot of Shumi and Twin Sen coalitions lately in those games, I was not expecting like Tony could take one of them and not be afraid of war with the other guy. And I was in bad spot since I had I had a very slow start, so my science was crap. I barely got NC, and I was trying to get to universities before I will start to attack anybody in this game. This is basically my empire, and my empire, I don't even have a religion. The religion is not mine, it's Twin Sen religion. Not a bad religion, but still it's Twin Sen religion, so the founder belief goes to him. Probably gold, as usual. So this is basically the situation. Now, my plans were absolutely spoiled about Great Wall. I cannot attack against Great Wall. I would need like double the hammers or something like that to attack a player of Twin Sen caliber with Great Wall, basically. So that kind of messed things up, especially Twin Sen was definitely not having twice less hammers than me. He was rocking on 5 cities with a very strong legend, already set up the cities, so now he would only like skyrocket away with India, because the initial happiness problems were gone. So now it was his time to get into this game. So I knew I can't go in there and try to kill him without slowing me down tremendously and then having absolutely no chance to compete with other players in this game. So what I decided to do is I went for universities. I got my universities up, then go for crossbows. I actually finished Liberty a couple of turns ago, and I got Machu Picchu in my capital, which at least that part was nice. So I decided to actually kill away the city-states. Now, people ask me, why are you killing the city-states? For several reasons. First of all, I don't have access to coast, so not having access to coast in the late game would be tragic, like tragic, especially if somebody would come in here and nuke me from sea. I still wanted to have at least a fleet, at least a chance to defend myself. I'm not saying like I would have a chance so late with extra cities, but I wanted to have a possibility to at least produce a unit or transport a nuke somewhere. Anything like coastal cities is so crucial for the late game, you just can't skip it. I can't plant a good city on coast, so I would prefer to take the cities, the city-states around me. That's the one reason. Second reason, they would not add me anything good. And the third reason is there's Austria in the game, Cleftor, who can easily ally those cities, declare war, and like buy them off in a very bad spot of the game. So I wanted those threats be swooped away from my neighborhood. So I decided to kill 5 city-states that are around myself, instead trying to go to war with Twin Sen. That was plan, I believe, C already, because plan A was like composite chariots, plan B was like crossbows into twin sand, and plan C was kill city-states. So I tried to execute plan C. Okay, I skipped a lot of turns. I know, I skipped a lot of turns. So this is the execution of plan C. Now, plan C was executed with improved composites, couple of horsemen, couple of pikes, and couple of cannons. I really didn't build too much units. Nobody was actually building too much units. Everyone was like in total eco mode, 0 war. Oh, excuse me, this is actually plan D. There was plan C. Plan C was planning in here, but plan C was spoiled by Maya and Mongolia planting in the area that I wanted to plant into. So this is actually plan D. I forgot about plan C. So this is plan D. Plan D is executed already. I went for research labs, so I got my research labs up and running, and we were like saying, okay, you got 1K science right now. Yes, I do, but I'm still behind in tech. Cleftor is like rocking so strong with science, and as you probably see, I don't even have public schools and a lot of infrastructure in all of those cities. Actually, Kizil was never annexed. I never annexed Kizil. There was one city too much, and especially as usual, I believe I had unhappiness from ideology. Yeah, I got unhappiness from ideology. I think freedom was ruling the world when it comes to ideology. So let's talk about the diplomacy part, what actually happened. So Joey, the number 1 of this game, had a lot of cities and tremendous amount of hammers. He was like rocking hammers so strong, it was just amazing. But on the other side, Cleftor was rocking science pretty impressively as well. So my plan, well, I want to take a note, of course. Shumi actually never attacked Maya, and of course Twinsen and Shumi have a defensive pact. So you see a chat. So you see a chat in here. Tony actually wants to convince me into attacking Twinsen because he wants to attack Shumi. And at this time I took out Kizil and I'm starting to go for bombers because I want to take Lucky Strike, because Lucky Strike stands in my way to attack Cleftor. So in my opinion in here, it was like a good choice not to attack Twinsen, not get involved in war, especially against Twinsen with very good cities, a lot of hammers and a lot of science as well. I felt it is absolutely a bad idea right now. I didn't want to go to war, but I still tried diplomacy with Tony a little bit, and I said him honestly, I want to kill Lucky Strike first. Actually, Lucky Strike declared war on me when I took Kizil because he didn't want, it was his city-state, his culture city-state, so he was not happy about it, but he was even behind with tech from me, so I was not really that worried about him at this stage of the game. But he did declare war on me, and the war was there, so I had to actually keep fighting. I needed to take him out if I wanted to reach Cleftor with actually anything like bombers, even stealth bombers. I couldn't reach his capital from Poznan even if I would had stealth bombers. I could only reach his first city, so fighting like through the one player is not a good way. I needed to take Lucky Strike away, or at least 2 of his cities, to connect myself to Cleftor. If I ever want to do anything to Cleftor to stop him from winning, I couldn't count on anybody else to stop Cleftor from winning, and I was absolutely 100% sure that Cleftor is the first player who have a chance in this game to win. So that was basically my plan. Well, this is plan E right now. So the continuation of plan D. So kill Lucky Strike, kill Cleftor, and then worry about the rest of the map in hopes that the rest of the map will start to be at war with each other, that I will actually get in there in the right spot and like only take a broom and swoop away the remains of the army there. So this is plan E. Okay, execution of plan E was bad. I'm like tragic bad. Now there's again a lot of stuff that happened which is quite interesting. Now I did a little bit of talking with Tony. Of course, he wanted to convince me into attacking Twinsen, and I did not want to attack Twinsen. First of all, because he was keeping Tony at bay a little bit. Well, actually, let's start a little bit earlier on. Tony attacked Shumi, after all, and though Twinsen and Shumi had a defensive pact, because Cleftor was so close to victory, Twinsen actually decided not to help Shumi, and he let Shumi die. So Tony killed Shumi. Now there's one downside, because I was talking like to Tony and I said like, Tony, dude, Cleftor's gonna win. He's definitely gonna win if you're not gonna stop him. And he's like saying, nah, Cleftor is not a problem. I get a massive fleet of battleships. I can get there and kill him. He's more worried about Twinsen, so he wants me to go to war against Twinsen, and he will deal with Cleftor. And I'm so happy that I read that situation absolutely differently, because first of all, Tony attacked Shumi and killed him and put a lot of resources into attacking Shumi, put almost none resources to attack Cleftor. Well, maybe they fought with fleet or something, but his help was very small in actually taking out Cleftor's capital. So that's one problem. The second problem is I never reached Cleftor city fast enough to be influential in stopping him against the science victory. And third, Twinsen, though he had tremendous amount of stealth bombers and XCOMs, he had I think 20 stealth bombers, had huge trouble stopping Cleftor. But eventually he did. So my decision there was correct. The only help I was able to get to stop Cleftor from winning was nuke. You see the fallout in here. I nuked with a nuclear missile from a submarine. There was only thing that I could sneak in here. Yes, I could damage on Salzburg later on when Salzburg were finally in range. But actually, when Cleftor lost Vienna, he made a crucial mistake. Now, his mistake was he retook the capital. He was only one part away from science victory. One part, and he was building in Salzburg. But he didn't think this through right, because he retook Vienna. So the only thing they had to do, basically he gave them more time. Well, of course, after the game I actually learned that I nuked one of Cleftor's parts with that missile. So yeah, I helped that quite a bit, I guess. But still, Cleftor could have won if he would leave his capital alone, because you can launch to space from his second capital, and Salzburg became his next capital. But he retook Vienna, so they only need to block the passage in here, so he couldn't transport the part from Salzburg to Vienna. So he was not able to do it. He finally lost Salzburg, and GG to Cleftor. Now, I did not help with this. I only helped with nuke, which was more than enough. I could have shot Salzburg, but I wanted Twinsen to use as much resources on this as possible. And he did stop Cleftor. Yes, it was a gamble, but with 20 stealth bombers, what can you do against 20 stealth bombers? You eventually cannot defend the city. That's the problem with stealth bombers. Nothing you can build, you can get, will defend you against stealth bombers unless you really have like huge defensive cities, like 200 cities. But still, 20 stealth bombers will wear down anything, especially if you're fighting like 6 cities against 2 or 1 in that case. So yeah, that's basically sum it up. Cleftor did put up a fight. He nuked Twinsen, he fought it for a long time. There was really a lot of turns that Twinsen needed to take him down, but eventually he did take him down. And at the same time, Tony took Shumi down. Okay, so after Twinsen taking Cleftor's, well, not exactly capital, but his second capital, things started to go really fast. So when it was known that Cleftor's gonna die and he will not achieve victory, everybody started to build spaceship parts. I was like looking at Twinsen's capital, he's building a part. Looking at Tony's capital, he's building a spaceship part. Well, guess what? I'm gonna try to build spaceship parts too. Now, there was a huge problem right now from me because I didn't know exactly who should I attack first. I was like thinking, if I want to have a chance, who should I try to attack and slow down? India or Maya? Maya or India? But all those choices are bad. If I attack India, I cannot take him down. I can only try to slow him down. Then Maya will win. Or should I slow down Maya and then Twinsen will win? I had only like 7 aluminium overall or something like that. Really not much. Like 7 stealth bombers. A huge problem. I was not really in a good shape to fight against those two people in any circumstance. But Twinsen decided for me. Since Tony had complete freedom, he had tons of gold, so he could easily buy parts and win. But Twinsen made a sneak attack and Tony made a huge mistake. He did not fortify his capital. He had like no units around his capital. That's his first mistake. And the second mistake, well, it was not intentional mistake, but when the turn re-rolled, he had a spaceship part in his capital that was pushed away from the capital by a caravan. So Twinsen used that moment and he destroyed one part and he started attacking. So they bombarded. As I said, he had like over 20 stealth bombers. So capital was like to 0 strength very quickly. They dropped XCOMs there and actually Shumi took my capital. He did not have his own capital, but he dropped that one XCOM with the alliance with Twinsen at that point, and he took Tony's capital. So Tony was sniped off almost before winning the game. Almost. I don't know how many parts he missed, but he was sniped off almost before winning the game. I think he used the gold so he couldn't actually buy the parts in the other cities. I don't know if he did try, how long it would take him for victory, but it was pretty problematic for him. So Twinsen still wanted to go for parts, so I had a huge problem now. I needed I think 7 or 6 turns at this point to win the game. That's quite a long time. I really was not... I didn't have spies in all of those cities, any of those cities actually, so I really didn't know how far ahead or how far behind from me or from Tony Twinsen actually were. So I didn't know how much time do I have, or even if I still have a chance to achieve a science victory. But I was really trying to do so. I thought like that with this amount of stealth bombers that Twinsen had, no nukes anymore. There was like 1 nuke that I used, and I had absolutely no more nukes because nuclear non-proliferation was passed. So there was no nukes. I couldn't fight 7 stealth bombers against 20 stealth bombers. It's just not possible. I didn't had enough aluminium to even try to get as many bombers to actually fight him. So I felt like my only chance right now is to try and achieve a science victory. And I made it. Yeah. I made it. Poland goes into space. Yeah, Poland goes into space. There was a very close win. Very close win. I think Twinsen could easily slow me down, but I tried to pillage his aluminium. So I sacrificed a lot of my troops to pillage his aluminium. And since he had a lot of stealth bombers, he like put into a priority to actually clear that aluminium and kill my units on his aluminium to take that aluminium away. He also pillaged my aluminium, but that doesn't count really much. He pillaged only get 3 tile aluminium, so it was not a problem. I did have a lot of recycling centers, so this was not a huge problem, and I still had only 6 stealth bombers. But because he was focused on attacking those units on aluminium tiles, he was focused on attacking my city with stealth bombers, I had just barely enough time to build my parts. Barely enough time. If he would go straight for my capital, I would be dead. I need to transport my last part from Łódź, from the city in the east, from the city from the south. So actually the last part, they all finished in the same turn, but the part was so far away from the east city that I was only able to transport it into the capital. It was still missing 1 move to launch. So that was a very, very close game, but I was able to win. Now, I would love to say that I played so good that they had absolutely no chance to stop me and I like totally deserved the win. No. No, well, deserved the win. I won, so it's like it's a matter of theory crafting. But I just felt that my mistakes, not that great decision making, somehow was compensated by the overall geopolitical situation that allowed me to like sneak in that victory. It's like sneaking in that victory, because first there was Mongolia and Maya on one side that they kept in check in between each other. I had Twinsen in the north that I was hoping to kill like forever, but I actually never ever deal anything to him. Now there was the science leader far away behind Lucky Strike, so actually getting to him took a lot of resources. Not only I was trying to do it, but a lot of resources from Twinsen, who, if he wanted to win the game, actually had to do it. So all that double crossing diplomacy information from Tony, from Twinsen, from Shumi actually worked in this game in my favor, because I felt like, since I was so behind in science, nobody really thought that I can sneak in a victory, because I just didn't have the resources to do it. Everybody thought that I can win themselves, and especially Tony, I think he messed this up. He underestimated Twinsen powers. I mean, like, I know he tried to, I believe he tried to play him so Twinsen would stop Kleftor, and Tony probably never had an intention to put too much resources into fighting Kleftor, because he wanted to take out Shumi in the meantime. So that kind of worked well, but backfired on him later on, because Twinsen just put up a lot of resources into army, so he really had like 20 plus stealth bombers. I'm like, wow, 20 plus stealth bombers. Imagine that. And if they are like super extra crazy promoted, 20 double tap stealth bombers, that's 40 attacks a turn on anything. They just swoop away any army, anything. You can't do anything to do it. So because Tony was such a clear leader in gold, in social policies, and hammers even, thanks to that, he was such a clear, he had like a red line on his face with the nameplate like, I need to be killed. So Twinsen, I don't think even he considered me a threat at that point, and he just went straight for Tony after Kleftor. Kleftor could have won. He missed like, he just made that mistake. He missed one part, so he could have won quite easily there. So he was like stopped, I think. I still think like if he did not retake his capital, he would win easily, because he built it that last part. I think he built it. It was like one turn to be built it, or was almost built it. So if he just fortified in that city, I think he could have made it without retaking his capital. But he did retake the capital, so that actually failed for him. But so Twinsen took the leader. Yes, I was trying to do so, but never did any real damage except that nuke that was supposedly helpful because I nuked one part, so that's a big deal, but still. So on that side, and then Tony was another clear guy who could have probably achieved the win in 2-3 turns. So after killing him, he could have killed me. I don't know why. I don't know if he was not able to transport spies into all of my cities that he needed, or he only had a spy in my capital. But he made a bad call. He attacked my units, pillaging his aluminium. He attacked my frontal city. When I did it on purpose, I kept stealth bombers there, so he would be forced to attack that city to just buy that little bit of piece of time. So in the end time, like Twinsen could have decided who could win from the military point of view, but I just was able to sneak in enough time to get those parts built and transport them into my capital. Like in one more turn or maybe 2 turns, my capital will be gone. This is how close this game was for me. But anyways, it was an amazingly cool game. I like it. Achieving science victory against those players is really great, especially recovering from a very slow start and not that great decision making at the beginning of the game. This is why I'm very happy about this game, and I definitely hope you enjoyed this game as well. And so if you have watched this game, thank you very much for listening. Overall, I thank you very much for listening and watching this video. If you have watched this game, then GG, thanks for watching. And if you haven't watched this game, I definitely invite you to watch this game, especially the late game. Late game was so close and emotional. It's just great. Very cool late game in this game. Okay, so the link is in here to the first part of the playlist, so if you want to watch it, just check it out. And well, basically that's it. One more time, thank you very much for the game. Tony, Twinsen, Lucky Strike, Cleftor, and Shumi. Very cool game. I like this game very much. Thank you very much for watching, and see you next time. Best wishes. Yoruus out.